A volunteer coach is charged with sexually assaulting a teen.
The accused took advantage of that position to take advantage of one of his players.
A 50-year-old athletic trainer accused of grooming his victim for years. Plus, what happens now after a judge kills the independence petition?
The only way that there will be a referendum is if Danielle Smith makes one happen herself. And if she does do that, then the mask slips.
As separatists appeal the court ruling, the province plots its next move. And a 50-year labor of love.
When life got in the way, I didn't work on it. And when it didn't, then I carried on.
Meet the Calgary artist and musician behind this handcrafted harpsichord.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Tara Nelson.
Hello and thank you for joining us. Calgary police have charged a volunteer high school coach with sexual assault. 50-year-old Drew Allen Robertson is accused of grooming and sexually assaulting a minor for nearly 2 years. Moses Woldu has more.
50-year-old Drew Allen Robertson is charged with 1 count of sexual assault, along with sexual exploitation by a person in authority and making sexually explicit material available to children. The alleged incidents occurred while Robertson was coaching at Henry Wisewood High School, where he met the complainant at the center of the case in January 2023. Police say she was a 15-year-old student and participated in extracurricular activities when he started grooming her.
My understanding is that the relationship began as a coach-player.
Police say they were tipped just last week to an online group chat and video allegedly sent by Robertson. CTV has obtained a screenshot of what appears to be the text messages Drew Robertson deleted from that group chat, but CTV has not seen the video. Staff Sergeant Chris Tudor of the Child Abuse Unit addressed the issue of abuse of trust.
Everybody from the school to the players and the parents of those players trusted him to coach and mentor their students and their children, and the accused took advantage of that.
The Calgary Board of Education issued a statement saying that, in part, that Robertson has no further association with any of the CBE's school teams. Those at the Luna Child and Youth Advocacy Center urge parents to look for the warning signs.
We can never assume that children and youth understand what healthy relationships look like, boundaries, consent, grooming. These are all topics that we need to continue to talk about in schools, around the dinner table, with our friends and family.
And Moses joins us now. So Moses, what have you learned about security checks by CBE and how it vets volunteers?
A spokesperson that mentioned to us, Tara, that schools are required to provide what they call an electronic police information check. They're also known as EPICs, and that's done annually from the schools to the CBE. However, when it comes to the specific topic in question, there's no comment at this time from CBE. And what we do know is that Robertson will appear in court tomorrow. Tara?
Okay, Moses, thank you. We have breaking news from Calgary Police. Investigators are on the scene of a stabbing near the East Village. Investigators tell us a man was rushed to hospital in serious condition. It happened late this afternoon on Confluence Way. Police say so far no one has been taken into custody. Police now confirm the discovery of a man's body in a hotel room Sunday is a homicide. An autopsy was performed today, and police have identified the victim as 42-year-old Jerry Wayne Bull. Investigators say one person was taken into custody at the hotel, but no one has been charged in the incident. A gravel truck slammed into a city bus this morning. The impact knocked the bus onto its side on Pagan Trail near 26th Street Southeast. 3 adults were taken to hospital. Luckily, they suffered only minor injuries. It happened just after 7 a.m. and police closed the road for more than 3 hours while they investigated. There is no word on charges. Thomas Lukaszuk will finally have the chance to speak to a legislative committee about his Forever Canadian petition tomorrow. This is amid the ongoing Alberta separation talks. A court decision last week quashed the separation petition question after the province failed to consult with First Nations. Organizers are now appealing, but a question on separation could still be coming. Tyson Fedor explains.
A court decision last week that struck down the Alberta Separatist petition has been appealed by Stay Free Alberta. The group has also asked for that decision to be stayed until that appeal is complete.
Card applications are a binary process, right? It's yes or no, flip a coin, right? So, but that being said, we think that, that we have some very, very strong arguments as to why this decision is so wrong.
It comes as Thomas Lukasik will have 5 minutes to speak to a legislative committee for the first time since his Forever Canadian petition collected last summer had more than 400,000 Albertans supporting Alberta staying in Canada.
So if she wants to take our question, go for it. But I can't possibly imagine that separatists will be happy with that question because it's a non-binding question. And separatists feel that they will win this referendum, and then they want the Premier to act on that.
It's a question Lukasik believes should have been voted on in the legislature, not a public referendum. And the opposition NDP feels Smith will put a question about separation on a ballot in October.
The only way that there will be a referendum is if Danielle Smith makes one happen herself. So we know two things for sure. Number one, the UCP is now a separatist party. And number two, the Premier is giving in to the separatists to save her own political skin.
In last week's Alberta Court of King's Bench decision, the justice found the province failed to meet its duty to consult First Nations before allowing a process that could affect treaty rights. Both the Alberta government and petition organizers argue no treaty rights were actually infringed upon, and the need for consultation only applies once the petition is successful. Meanwhile, BC's Premier is taking aim at Alberta and Ottawa.
Well, this country cannot work if separatist premiers, others get all of the attention of the federal government.
The former Canadian ambassador to the United Nations was in Calgary Tuesday speaking about sustainability and First Nation consultation. He believes separation would not be in the best interest of all Canadians.
I fought against separation in Quebec twice. I've been around a while, and I would fight against it in Alberta.
Tyson joins us from McDougall Centre tonight. Tyson, we could learn of a decision on a separation referendum this week.
We certainly could, Tara, and that could come potentially even tomorrow, as that committee you heard from in that story will be meeting tomorrow. As for the agenda, it is posted, but we're unsure actually what is on that agenda as it's blank at this time. The Premier's office does say it still believes that this decision last week was anti-democratic and it was incorrect in the law. Now, Danielle Smith has also talked about using the notwithstanding clause through all of this as well. Cabinet and caucus will be meeting this week. The Premier's office saying that those discussions will happen with Cabinet and caucus as well. That, of course, is when we might see coming out of those meetings whether or not a separation question could be on the ballot come October. Tara?
Okay, Tyson, thank you.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
After more than 5 decades of service, the federal government is retiring Canada's iconic Snowbirds. 2026 will mark the final farewell flying season for the fleet's current jets, and it remains unclear when new aircraft will be purchased to return this symbol of Canada's military back to the skies. Here's Graham Richardson.
2026 will be a farewell season for the Snowbirds in these iconic jets. The Tudors are finally being retired after more than 55 years in the air.
This is a significant moment, and it is an emotional one because of the extraordinary connection that this team has built with Canadians over more than 5.5 decades. This decision was not taken lightly.
The Defence Minister announcing Canada will replace the aging jets with these, the new Siskin 2 prop planes, not a full jet. And it's not clear when Canada will take delivery of them.
We need to work with the manufacturer. We need to make sure that we receive them in graduated form. It will take some time for them to roll off the production line, but we're moving as quickly as we possibly can.
The government says it remains committed to Moose Jaw and the Snowbirds, but starting in 2027, the fleet will be grounded for several years.
I inherited a situation where the planes literally had come to the end of their lives. They were unique in many respects. They didn't have the parts and other things to safely fly. So the Snowbirds will continue, and new planes are being commissioned and will arrive.
The Snowbirds alumni called this a profoundly disappointing decision. They also point out the new planes are propellers. No other G7 nation flies aerobatic teams without full jets.
It wouldn't have been our first choice. You can't perform the same kind of show with a turboprop trainer that you can with a jet.
The mayor of Moose Jaw says there are mixed emotions for his town today.
The Snowbirds are cherished to all of us. They are part of our fabric.
So there's still a lot of unanswered questions here. How long will it take the government to buy these new planes? When will they arrive in Moose Jaw? How long will the Snowbirds be grounded? But most importantly, when will they fly again? Graham Richardson, CTV News, Moose Jaw.
All right, let's bring Danielle in for our first peek of the forecast. We had a little bit of everything over the long weekend, and it's a little unstable still out there tonight.
Yeah, Mother Nature this long weekend threw everything she had at us. A little bit of warmth, a lot of cold, snow, rain, thunderstorms. Now we're still dealing with a lot of instability today, tomorrow, and then things really straighten out for us. And it'll be really, really hot by the end of this week and more stable, lots of sunshine, but takes a couple days to get there. All right, so we have this activity that's been moving down. Some of these pockets are very isolated and they're dying out before they even hit the ground, but there are some isolated thunderstorms and pockets of rainfall out there. You can see that even down Highway 2 as well. When you look at temperatures right now, we're sitting at 15 degrees. Looking at your live shot in the city, there's isolated showers, and we have the potential for isolated shower, even thunderstorm activity, not just this evening, but right through the overnight hours up until about 7 in the morning. Then things stabilize a bit, and then that risk comes back again later in the day. More details coming up, Tara.
Thank you, Danielle. Fire broke out in a building in the Beltline last night, and today it was torn down. Crews made short work of the former Danish-Canadian club on 11th Ave Southwest today. The building was fenced off since last year when the organization moved to a new location in the Northeast. Last night, around 6:45, a fire broke out in the boarded-up building. Crews were able to put the blaze out quickly and no injuries were reported. A condo complex will be built on the site. It may be the end of the line for Edmonton's iconic high-level bridge. The span across the North Saskatchewan is 113 years old. The city set aside money to upgrade it, but engineers say the problems are more complex than first thought. They now say it could cost $1 billion to extend its life for another 75 years.
We found that the cost is just more expensive and the amount of rehabilitation that's required is more extensive than we had originally anticipated in 2022 based on the information that we had at that time.
The city says the high-level bridge is safe to use and the plan is to keep it open for the next 10 to 15 years while a replacement is designed. It was built by the Canadian Pacific Railway Company in 1910 and is one of the few ever constructed to combine 4 modes of transportation: train, streetcar, vehicle, and pedestrian. Just ahead, new study sheds light on an often misunderstood disorder affecting thousands of women. A U of C medical student is challenging what we think we know about a widely misunderstood condition that is often dismissed by doctors. And later, skyrocketing World Cup costs, how Canada ranks as a host city, and what it will set you back to attend a match. The province has issued an alert for a potential measles exposure in Calgary after 2 new cases were recorded in the city over the weekend. Alberta Health says the infected patient was in the Earlton Medical Clinic on McLeod Trail between 5:15 and 6 p.m. May 14th and between 2:35 and 3:10 p.m. the following day. They also warn of potential exposure at the Children's Hospital Emergency Department from 3:40 to 8:30 p.m. on May 15th. Anyone who attended either location and does not have both doses of the vaccine could be at risk of developing measles. Alberta health officials say a small number of students are being treated for rabies exposure after an encounter with a bat on a school bus. A spokesperson from Alberta Primary and Preventative Health Services says officials were notified of the incident on May 13th. It involved a bat on a Golden Hills Division school bus in Drumheller. The bus driver and all students who may have been exposed were assessed, and a small number were treated for rabies exposure. There are no reports of serious illness or adverse reactions. A University of Calgary medical student who spent years searching for answers about her own debilitating condition is now helping change what doctors think they know about it. Kevin Green explains.
Up to 500,000 Canadians suffer the effects of postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. For Kate Bourne, it began when she was just 12.
So I first became sick when I was 12 years old with very unexplained symptoms of fatigue, abdominal pain, and symptoms such as that.
The illness repeatedly derailed her education, forcing her to extend both high school and university.
It was absolutely debilitating, so I definitely had to spend a lot of time in bed where I was unable to go to school and unable to do anything. But with the diagnosis and treatment, fortunately, my symptoms have improved.
POTS affects the autonomic nervous system and can cause rapid heart rate, dizziness, fatigue, and brain fog.
But unfortunately, it's still very misunderstood, or more unfortunately, doctors think it's actually not a real condition.
Bourne says many patients are told the condition will simply go away on its own, but that's not true, says the findings of her research, which found 98% of patients had symptoms years, even decades later.
So we're hoping that this will help to demonstrate that POTS can be a lifelong condition and isn't something that just simply goes away, which was previously the thought of a lot of doctors.
Dr. Satish Raj helped lead Bourne through the research. Raj says too many POTS patients have their symptoms dismissed and says the findings should change how both doctors and patients view the condition.
And can't just be ignored. It's not something if you ignore it for a few months or a few years, it'll magically disappear.
Bourne says the study should also arm patients to push for a diagnosis.
I think it's always very helpful for patients to be their own advocate and to be educated and informed, and then be able to take that information to their doctors.
While there is no cure for POTS, the researchers say with proper diagnosis and treatment, the symptoms can improve. Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
80% of people who develop POTS are women between the ages of 12 and 50. It's become more prevalent since 2020 because it is also a symptom of long COVID.
This is CTV News, Calgary.
All right, let's bring Danielle back in now and get a look at our 5-day forecast. It gets better the further into it we get.
Yeah, you're really going to like this 5-day forecast, especially in comparison to the forecast that I gave you for May long weekend, which was, not ideal for camping or planting or any type of stuff like that. Your next weekend will be in the 20s and with a mix of sun and clouds. So there's a lot of good stuff coming up here. And we're just getting started, but it is active today and it will be active tomorrow. So we've got to wait a little bit before we get to the real good stuff. We did get to a high of 16 degrees today in the city. We're now sitting at 15, 19 in Brooks. Brooks got into the 20s today. 18 is the temperature in Medicine Hat, 17 in Lethbridge. When we talk wind, well, it was windy, but not excessively windy, mainly in the 40s. Pincher Creek, though, did get to 61 earlier today. Calgary and all of southern Alberta has the potential of getting gusts 40 to 50 kilometers per hour tomorrow, especially later in the day when things become unstable once again. Because yes, another one. All right, here's the statement that we have in place for Drumheller and basically just to the east of the QE2 up and then over to Provost. This is because there is the potential for funnel cloud development and it may even gain enough steam that it could touch the ground and become a tornado. A weak tornado, but even a weak tornado, of course, can be dangerous. So the statement is in place for the rest of tonight, and then that will likely be dropped off. We may see this return in some isolated areas for tomorrow as well, because it's another unstable one, and similar conditions. Okay, so let's talk what's going on the radar. A lot of this activity is dying out. When you see all this thunderstorm activity, we've had that over the past few hours, absolutely, but there's a lot less lightning out there. And we do have some pockets of some heavier rain. We did have a thunderstorm pass over towards the Airdrie area over the QE2, but this is now dying out as well. So at this point, there's isolated showers and some of these pockets can be quite heavy. And don't be surprised if there's even some lightning associated with some of these. We have this potential even past the midnight hour all along the QE2 Calgary as well, up until 8 a.m. Then things stabilize a little bit and then they will likely be back tomorrow after 4 p.m. But by Thursday, that ridge of high pressure builds in. Here's your action furnace 5-day forecast. 12 is a high for tomorrow. Late day thunderstorm activity is certainly possible. By the weekend, in the 20s with a mix of sun and cloud.
Higher gas prices, driven mainly by the war in Iran, pushed inflation higher. Food inflation eased a little bit in April. We'll dig into the StatsCan numbers just ahead. And an incredible craftswoman has finally finished a harpsichord she started building 5 decades ago. We'll tell you where it's going. That's still to come. The The latest inflation numbers show the cost of living is continuing to increase. The soaring price at the pump and the oil shock in particular is driving the overall number higher. The Consumer Price Index rose 2.8% year over year in April, an increase from 2.4% in March. But as John Venevalley-Rao reports, it wasn't all bad news.
In Toronto, where gas prices are well over $1.90, many motorists we spoke with said they worry they'll go even higher.
Absolutely ridiculous. I wish I had more to say, but it's just honestly, it's too much. It's crazy.
In my own vehicle, I noticed that I don't drive as much.
And the latest headline inflation number, driven largely by the soaring cost of energy. Last month up 19% compared to a year ago. Gasoline up 28% because of the closure of the Strait of Hormuz and the switch over to a more expensive summer blend of gas.
The bottom line is, we've got oil prices that are nearly double where they were at the beginning of the year.
Groceries were also more expensive, though food inflation, which was 4% in March, eased to 3.5% in April. With Statistics Canada noting the pace of price hikes eased for grocery items such as fresh vegetables, chicken, coffee, and tea. Still, many continue to struggle at the checkout counter.
I'm always scouring like the discount apps or, the discount aisle kind of thing and, trying to save a dollar where I can.
Rents were also up, but at a slower pace, rising 3.6% year over year. And some items were on the decline, including travel tours. Experts think the higher fuel costs just haven't filtered into the price of many items, but some also believe higher energy costs may actually be pushing down prices elsewhere as consumers spend less.
Because of those higher fuel costs, people have less money to spend on other things, so prices are easing in other areas.
Meanwhile, economists say with inflation outside of gas and food prices relatively tame, it'll take pressure off of the Bank of Canada to raise interest rates. John Venevalley-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
There is more federal money coming to help alleviate Banff's housing shortage. An extra $320,000 in federal funding is coming from Ottawa's Housing Accelerator Fund. That's on top of the nearly $5 million committed this year. The mountain town is one of 32 Canadian municipalities getting a bump in housing dollars. Town of Banff officials estimate they are short between 700 and 1,000 homes. It is grad season all over North America, but some unexpected participants are donning a cap and gown for the big day. We'll tell you why. Our trending videos are next. A Calgary musician, artist, and instrument maker's decades-long labor of love is ready to be played. After nearly 50 years of work, Susan Rod's handcrafted harpsichord is finally complete. Kevin Green reports.
50 years in the making, Susan Rod's handmade harpsichord is getting one of its final tune-ups. She says when she started the project, she never imagined it would take this long.
No, I had no idea. I just went along with it, When life got in the way, I didn't work on it. And when it didn't, then I carried on.
Rod started the project in 1976 after deciding the Renaissance quartet she played viola in needed a harpsichord instead of a piano to be more authentic.
I just thought about making a harpsichord. This is what you have to do. So that's what I did.
The result is a handcrafted instrument filled with thousands of intricate moving parts, hand-cut wooden mechanisms, and detailed paintings of Alberta birds, landscapes, and plants.
The tolerances are very small, but there are many, many more parts in this. You can't even believe it.
Her persistence has amazed her friends who've watched the project take shape over decades.
And I just am in awe of this woman and her incredible perseverance.
Calgary musician and keyboard collector Han Ding owns 3 harpsichords. He once considered building his own.
And I commend anyone who can build a harpsichord on their own, but I knew that I was not brave enough to do that.
Rod isn't keeping her creation, and she's not selling it either, despite it being worth tens of thousands of dollars. She's giving it to Calgary harpsichord master Justin Luczynski.
With her blessing, I'm going to, involve it with, concerts and teaching. Like, I'll get it out there a lot, so it's seen by as many people as possible and appreciated.
Rod says despite the 5 decades of work, she never once thought of quitting.
It's a sense of accomplishment, that I can tell you. A feeling of almost relief that it's actually finished.
Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
Incredible. Now, Rod and her husband moved homes 3 times over the course of building that harpsichord. They took it along the way as they went. They custom built her workshop at their current home so she could complete the job. That's incredible.
Amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well, when it comes to houses, some people think the bigger the better, but not this guy.
I built the world's smallest tiny house by square footage, 19.46 square feet, totally off-grid. You can see the solar panels up there.
Okay, he thinks this is the tiniest house in the world, and you can take it anywhere you want. So 19.46 square feet. Has everything you need. It's got a couch. It's got a kitchen. Up there, that's the bed that pulls down. If you're wondering about a bathroom, it's outside around the corner. So
it doesn't have everything.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know. It has it, but when nature calls, you'll be out in nature.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can call it a
shower.
house, though.
It's a house for a tiny person.
Bathrooms need to
Tiny
be
house for a tiny
included.
person. Well, it's attached to the house.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Well, this is time for everything, and for this turtle, it was today.
Now, it really depends if they want to go fast or slow.
Well, she wanted to go fast. These lucky onlookers got to witness this 3-year-old rescue turtle's first time going in the ocean. She didn't waste any time getting there. The video's gone viral. 36 million people enjoying this special moment of seeing her hit the water.
She sure could have set a record.
Land speed record, yeah, absolutely.
Look how excited.
Let me out of here.
That's sweet.
A very unique guest of honor headlined a recent college commencement in Iowa, celebrating the students who helped save her life.
Honey has joined us to celebrate your special day.
This is Honey. In December, she was critically injured because she was struck by a car. So her owner couldn't afford treatment. She surrendered her to the Iowa State University College of Veterinary Medicine. The doctors, the residents, and the students fixed her right up. She made her way happy and healthy with cap and gown on across the commencement stage.
That's awesome.
Isn't that amazing?
Great? Yeah. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, now she gets to graduate with everybody else. That's a prance. Look how happy she is.
Indeed is, right?
Yeah, she is looking good.
Special day.
Yes. Still to come, a milestone for a Calgary nonprofit. We'll tell you about the group that helps young people with life skills to help them become more independent.
Okay, Skywatch weather camera, the winds have picked up for sure. And in the distance in that shot, you can see the rain evaporating before it gets to the ground. But in other cases, it's making it right to the ground. So isolated showers in the city. In the north end, we had a decent pocket roll through just about half an hour ago. 15 degrees currently. Today's high 16. That's pretty much where we should be for this time of year. Basically, Drumheller and up east of the QE2, this is where we have a weather statement in place because funnel cloud development is certainly a possibility, and it could even make it to the ground, become a tornado. A weak tornado, less chance of that, of course, but that is the possibility because rotation is certainly possible with some of these cells. We don't have a lot of thunderstorm activity. Things are starting to weaken for the night, but there is the potential for thunderstorm activity even through the overnight hours in all of southern Alberta. I just want to zoom into a couple of places here and show you what's going on. So we had the cell track just on the north end of the city and now headed towards the Strathmore area. It is producing a little bit of lightning and a decent downpour as well. Some of these cells also coming with some smaller size hail. In the far south, you can see things have pretty much quieted down, but things could pop up over these next few hours as well. So that potential goes right through the overnight. For Calgary specifically, we have even the chance of showers up until about 7 or 8 in the morning. Then things stabilize for a bit, and then showers and thunderstorms possible once again later in the day tomorrow, and the gusts picking picking up again to 40, 50 kilometers per hour. That's your 24-hour forecast brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed right or it's free. All right, tomorrow stable in Kamloops, Kelowna, and 23, 24 degrees. Edmonton looking at 14 with a good amount of cloud cover. And further to the south, even though that's showing snowfall, we're not looking at snowfall. We are just looking at late day thunderstorm activity. 12 for Lethbridge, 13 for Medicine Hat. Tara.
Thank you, Danielle. Calgary police have charged a volunteer high school coach with sexual assault. Drew Allen Robertson is accused of grooming and sexually assaulting a minor over a 2-year period. Police say it started when the victim was a 15-year-old student at Henry Wisewood High School. A gravel truck knocked a transit bus onto its side on Pagan Trail this morning. 3 people were taken to hospital with minor injuries. And this summer is the swan song for Canada's Snowbirds. The iconic Tudor jets are being replaced because of safety concerns. A new study shows Vancouver and Toronto are among the most expensive cities for fans when it comes to World Cup tickets and hotel prices. CTV's Heather Wright breaks down the numbers.
The World Cup is the biggest sporting event on the planet, and this year's tournament will also be the most expensive, with the average ticket price in some host cities, including Toronto, sitting at well over $1,000.
It's the most expensive World Cup for a long time, and yeah, fans are being priced out of being able to go to the game they love.
According to a new study, New York has the highest ticket prices, an average of $1,700. Guadalajara is next at just over $1,500, followed by Dallas at $1,440 and Mexico City at $1,300. Toronto rounds out the top 5 with tickets averaging just under $1,300 apiece. At an average of roughly $500, tickets are more affordable in Vancouver, but the city tops the list when it comes to most expensive accommodations, with fans forking over an average of $922.71 a night for a 3-star hotel room. That's nearly double the cost of staying in the next most expensive cities, Seattle and New York. In Toronto, an average hotel is just shy of $300 a night. According to Destination Vancouver, the city has not yet seen a World Cup hotel bump, with bookings down 20% this year.
We've heard a lot of different things. It's all speculation. We know it's going to be a busy time.
With 23 days to go until the World Cup kicks off in Canada, tickets are still available in both Toronto and Vancouver, including for Canada's opening match on June 12th. But they cost upwards of $1,000 apiece, pricing out many would-be attendees, including Angela O'Hara, who lives in Toronto and won't be going to any matches. But she is excited for the beautiful game to come to town.
Just being downtown with all the excitement, you can't beat it.
When it comes to food, the least expensive host cities are all in Mexico, with Toronto and Vancouver in the middle of the pack. Miami is the most expensive host city to dine out in. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
The federal government has pledged $7 million to artificial intelligence projects in Alberta. The funding is meant to advance Canada's domestic capacity for AI innovation. It will support more than 70 jobs. The bulk of it went to projects in Edmonton, including the University of Alberta, receiving $3 million. Local Intel, which has a secondary office in Calgary, was granted $500,000 in repayable funding. One of the recipients, which builds software for public safety organizations in Canada, is using the funding to grow internationally.
We have a lot of interest overseas, in the U.S., in Europe, in the Middle East, and this will really help support our growth and expansion internationally.
The money comes from the Regional Artificial Intelligence Initiative. It aims to help bring new AI technologies to market and speed up AI adoption in sectors such as agriculture, healthcare, and manufacturing. A Lethbridge researcher has unlocked a potential alternative food for cattle. Wade Abbott, a scientist with Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada, was curious whether cattle can digest seaweed. He and his colleagues used the Canadian Light Source facility at the University of Saskatchewan to find out if cows have the enzymes to break down seaweed. They found evidence the animals do have the bacteria required. The study notes seaweed will not replace hay or traditional animal feeds because it's expensive, but seaweed could be an immunity booster. The team's findings are published in the science journal Nature Communications. Inflation moved up in April. It was the highest annual rate seen in about 2 years. BNN Bloomberg's Morella Fernandez has more on that and the day's closing numbers.
As expected, higher gas prices pushed inflation up in April. The rate rose to 2.8%, up from 2.4% in March. The cost of gas spiked almost 29% in April because of the disruption of the oil supply in the Middle East. It could have been worse. Ottawa suspended the fuel excise tax mid-April, which knocks 10 cents off every liter of regular gas and 4 cents off of diesel. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down to 72.72. West Texas Intermediate is down to 107.77. Western Canadian Select up over $3 to 83.77. And the TSX lost 92 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
A nonprofit working with children and young adults with neuromotor conditions is celebrating 30 years of helping others. It's known as FACE. That stands for Families of Alberta for Conductive Education. Its programs are focused on building life skills to help participants become more independent. Here's Kevin Fleming.
She's 19 years old, and Maddie Pelche has been coming to FACE for more than 8 years. She's working on some fine motor skills by moving balls from one area to another while standing. Maddie has a seizure disorder that's seen her lose a lot of her mobility and speech.
When Maddie was younger, her needs, she just presented a lot differently. She wasn't in a wheelchair. She was running, walking, talking, all that running, really running, like she was a runner. And so over time, she's lost those skills.
Joanna Spooner says Maddie thrives in a group environment.
She's most motivated by relationships, quality, authentic relationships. The people who work here are exceptional. They genuinely love your kid, and which, as a mama bear, your standards are pretty high.
Families of Alberta for Conductive Education, known as FACE, got its start in Calgary in 1996 and has more than 50 participants daily, from toddlers up to young adults.
We're a nonprofit. We work with people who have movement disorders, so known as neuromotor disorders. So what you'd think of normally is cerebral palsy, as well as spina bifida, and a range of other genetic disorders as well.
The holistic form of therapy originates from Hungary and sees one caregiver for every participant. Ansabel Peter has been here for 10 years and has watched the children grow.
When I started, most of our adults were all kids. They all grew up. I stayed the same height.
Peter is working with Danny, who's celebrating her 20th birthday. She says it's rewarding to help participants learn skills to be more independent.
You feel so successful, there is something that you could do for others. So that gives a very positive effect on me, on myself, and that keeps me going.
Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
FACE is hosting an awareness campaign to let families know about the resources that are available. We have more information on our website. Flag football will soon be an Olympic sport, and that could be the reason for the surge in popularity within young people. Glenn takes a look next. A 3.5-week-old northern flying squirrel is being treated by an animal rescue north of the city after it was attacked by a magpie in the city's southwest. The Alberta Institute for Wildlife Conservation says the squirrel wouldn't have survived without human intervention. At this age, she still has her eyes and ears closed while the rescue staff feed her formula every 3 hours. She will remain there until she is fully weaned and show signs of independence. The Calgary Stampeders kicked off the preseason yesterday at McMahon Stadium. Glenn is back with us, and Glenn, the Stamps took on the defending Grey Cup champs.
Stamps went up against the Saskatchewan Roughriders, Tara, and both teams played a lot of rookies in this game. Their chance to make a statement. What a moment this must have been for Calgary. And Matt Sibley, the local product, got to carry out the Stampeders flag before the start of the game. Now, the Stamps did play a lot of their starters in the first quarter, and linebacker Kyle Wilson comes up with the big play there, the interception. Stamps ended up getting that in great field position. And not long after that, Vernon Adams Jr. decides to air this one out. He is looking for Jalen Philpott, and he connects with him. Philpott takes it into the end zone, 70-yard score. The Stamps had a 7-0 lead. A big game for Stamps quarterback Josh Love, who was looking to earn the number 2 spot behind Adams. Second quarter, decides to use his feet. Big run here. That would lead to another touchdown as Love himself takes this one in from 1 yard out. That would give the Stamps a 14-6 lead. All right, let's go back to Sidley for a second here. He grew up a huge fan of the Stampeders, and in the fourth quarter, he makes the big catch. 17-yard gain. He was over the moon after the game, got to wearing the red and white as the Stamps down the Riders 2015.
You've seen the stories of little kids, jumping on their bed for the diving catch and in the Grey Cup and whatever, and that was 100% me. Like when I could formulate words and thoughts. So that's something that I've thought about for a long time, and I'm excited to watch the play and just see myself in that red helmet with the white horse and making plays, and yeah, it really is special.
All right, and the Stamps wrap up the preseason on May 29th. They're in Edmonton to play the Elks. And then the Stamps open up the regular season June 5th as they play host to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Well, the popularity of flag football is on the rise. Kids from Chestermere and Langdon are loving this sport. It's Thursday night in Langdon, and many kids from the area are hitting the field for a little flag football. They're all part of the Chiefs Community Football Club out of Chestermere. 10-year-old Tayson Hartman plays defense but loves to score touchdowns. He's pumped every time he gets on the turf.
That it's awesome, and you can, when you get the ball or an interception, it's so much adrenaline.
11-year-old Renee Reffick has also fallen in love with flag football. She says she got into the sport because she feels safe on the field.
I find flag football is a very fun sport to play, considering it is way less contact than contact football, and it's a really fun team sport.
Despite starting the program recently, the Chiefs already have 61 players registered to play, and that number is expected to grow.
It's crazy that we have this many kids out here, and it's been a really good turnout so far, and I think it's really good to see the diversity of kids and ages, and boys and girls too. I think it's a good experience for everyone. The field that they're playing on is at the Horseshoe Crossing High School in Langdon, and it's mighty impressive. New school, new field. It's an incredible field, and I've always said that football is it's a family sport, right? The community always comes together for football, and it's been a growing community for over a decade now, and it's blossomed into the flag football community, and I love to see it. And you never know, there might be a future Olympian in this group, now that flag football's an Olympic sport.
Yes, I want to be in the Olympics in this sport.
And Tayson says he knows just what to do to get there.
Keep practicing every day of the week, after school and on the weekends.
And Matt Sibley, he has a real tie to flag football. He both played and he coached. Something he likes to give back to the community. Yeah.
So there you go. It led him onto the Stamps.
There you go.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's take our final peek at the weather.
Well, if you want to play flag football, then the best time to do that is honestly the rest of this week. So tomorrow is still unstable, just like today, and windy later in the day, just like today. A high of 12, so not even as warm as today. But then check this out, 18 degrees on Thursday, and by next weekend we get into the 20s. Weather we could have had for a long weekend, but here we are. Now you can actually do some planting and gardening, and it's nicer camping weather for sure. Okay, weather window brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, and Alberta's climate. And Jean Thiessen sent this in. This is what Strathmore looked like at 6:20, and that's the cell that was headed towards standard as well. So
that's a little foreboding.
Yep.
It's going to be that kind of evening.
Yep.
Thanks for your company tonight. Have a good evening. We'll see you again tomorrow.